This is one of the most dangerous videos I've ever shared with you because after this, you'll never struggle for presence again. You'll discover the hidden frequency inside your nervous system, the same one predators and leaders use to bend entire rooms. Learn to control it, and people will feel you before they even see you. There's an invisible current radiating from you every second of your life. You can't see it, you can't hear it, but everyone else feels it. That current decides how people feel about you before you open your mouth. It shapes whether they trust you, fear you, respect you, or overlook you entirely. And here's the chilling truth. You've been sending this signal unconsciously since the day you were born. Most people stumble through life never realizing this is happening. They think influence is about words, clothes, status, or talent. They think attraction is about looks or money. They're wrong. The real game is invisible. It's an emotional frequency, a constant broadcast from your nervous system, and it's either helping you or sabotaging you every single day. Consider this. Have you ever felt uneasy around someone who didn't say a word, or instantly warmed to someone before they even introduced themselves, or walked into a room and knew the tension before anyone spoke? That wasn't magic. That was the signal. It's why two people can say the same words and have wildly different results. One inspires and persuades. The other gets ignored. It's not what they said, it's what they broadcasted. Inside your brain is a hidden mechanism that shapes this signal. It's not mystical. It's not charisma. It's neurological. And if you understand it, you can bend the emotional weather of any room you enter. But knowledge like this is dangerous. Used with integrity, it makes you magnetic and deeply connected. Used without ethics, it turns you into a manipulator. The kind of person who controls, exploits, and leaves others addicted to your presence. Once you learn how it works, you can't unknow it. Every interaction from this day forward becomes a choice. Will you consciously create your signal or keep leaking it blindly and hoping for the best? Most people never ask themselves that question. You will. And when you see how this works, when you learn the ancient psychological lever hiding inside your skull, you'll finally understand why you've been treated the way you have and how to rewrite it. Inside your skull is the most complex machine on Earth. 86 billion neurons, trillions of connections. Yet even this intricate network has secret levers that almost no one consciously uses. One of those levers is a neural system most people have never heard of. Mirror neurons. These cells were first discovered in the 1990s by neuroscientists in Italy. They were studying monkeys and noticed something strange. When the monkey reached for a peanut, certain brain cells fired. But when the monkey simply watched a scientist reach for a peanut, the same cells fired. In other words, the brain didn't care if it performed the action or observed it. It reacted as if it were doing it too. Humans have this wiring on an even deeper level. When you see someone cut their finger, you flinch. When a baby hears another baby cry, it cries too. When a crowd laughs in a theater, you laugh harder. When someone yawns, your own body wants to follow. Your nervous system is designed to simulate the states of those around you. It's nature's way of building empathy, trust, and cooperation. Without it, human civilization wouldn't exist. We'd be cold, isolated islands, unable to connect or predict each other. But here's where the secret turns dangerous. Mirror neurons don't just copy movements, they copy emotions. You felt this before. You just didn't have a name. for it. Think about the last time you were near someone silently anxious. They didn't say they were afraid, but you felt it. Or when you were around someone who carried a deep, unshakable calm and suddenly your own breath slowed down. Or when someone's excitement made you feel more alive without knowing why. That's mirror neurons syncing emotional states. It's an invisible neural Wi-Fi, constantly transmitting signals between bodies and the unnerving truth it never turns off. Even now your brain is syncing with people you pass in public, with friends you text, with voices you hear. Most people never realize this, which means they are broadcasting their emotional chaos 24/7 without the slightest control. Predators thrive on this blind spot. They learn consciously or instinctively how to manipulate their own broadcast so others automatically sync to them. Meanwhile, ordinary people stumble through life thinking influence is about words or logic, never realizing they've already lost the game before they spoke. Mirror neurons are ancient. They don't ask permission. They don't wait for your logic. They read emotion, not argument. They respond to presence, not performance. Once you understand this, you'll see the invisible game you've been playing your entire life, and why the people with the strongest internal signal always seem to shape the world around them. Whether you realize it or not, you are always broadcasting. There's no mute button, no off switch. Every second your body leaks information about your inner world in ways most people never consciously detect, but everyone unconsciously feels. It's not about what you say, it's about what you radiate. Think about walking into a room where a heated argument just happened. No one tells you what happened. The voices are calm, the smiles are polite, and yet you feel the tension in the air like a storm waiting to break. That's not imagination. That's your nervous system picking up on their emotional residue. Or imagine the opposite. A person walks into a meeting radiating calm authority. They don't boast. They don't even speak much. But their presence makes everyone else sit straighter, breathe slower, and pay attention. That's not charisma as most people define it. That's emotional frequency shaping the room. This invisible contagion explains why some people light up a space and others drain it without saying a word. It's why laughter spreads at parties. It's why panic ripples through crowds. It's why we feel drawn to some people and uneasy around others even before we know their name. Here's what makes it even more unsettling. Your frequency leaks even when you try to hide it. Fake smiles, upbeat tones, confident words. None of it can mask your actual broadcast, your micro-expressions, your breathing rhythm, your muscle tension, even the way your eyes linger or dart. They're all signals. You felt this in others. The coworker whose "I'm fine" rings hollow. The friend whose fake laugh feels off. The partner who says nothing's wrong while their entire body screams the opposite. Guess what? Other people feel it in you too. Most people have no idea what they're transmitting. They stumble through life emitting static, a cocktail of anxiety and neediness, hidden resentment, desperation for approval, or flat emotional numbness. Then they wonder why conversations feel awkward, why dates fizzle, why strangers seem distant. They blame their looks, their words, their status. But the truth is simpler and harsher. People are responding to their signal, not their script. And this is where predators thrive. Because while most people are walking faulty transmitters, unaware of their own emotional leakage, manipulators learn to engineer their signal. They don't leave their presence to chance. They consciously craft it. A predator doesn't walk into a room hoping to be light. They decide the emotional whether they want to create, then radiate it until everyone else unconsciously sinks. That's why their effect feels almost supernatural. It's not magic. It's biology hijacked. And this transmission game isn't optional. You're either shaping it or being shaped by others. Every room you've ever entered, every conversation you've ever had has been affected by this unseen exchange. Your nervous system is a radio tower, broadcasting on a frequency you didn't know existed, and everyone else's nervous systems are tuning in. The question is, what have you been broadcasting so far? And who has been setting your dial? You or someone else? If you want to sharpen your intelligence to its absolute edge, if you want to master the hidden levers of psychology, if you want to read people like an open book, you need more than a single video. That's why I created Whisperer's Power Bundle. It's every ebook and audiobook I've ever released on dark psychology, mind mastery, and forbidden brain hacks, plus lifetime access to all future releases. Think about that. A lifetime library of strategies, intelligence, tools, and psychological weapons, constantly growing, constantly updating, without you ever paying again. The value is insane, but the cost is nothing compared to the years most men waste stumbling blind. If you've ever wanted to own the full arsenal, the secret files, schools, mentors, and systems never gave you, this is it. Click the link below, claim your seat, and step into the Power Bundle. Once you have it, you'll never run out of weapons for the mind. Why do certain people feel almost supernatural in their influence? Why can a single glance from some individuals silence a room? Why do some leaders inspire movements while others can't command respect from 3 people at a table? It's not magic. It's not luck. It's a deliberate manipulation of the hidden system we just uncovered. Well, most people stumble through life leaking insecurity and tension. Manipulators learn consciously or instinctively to design their signal. They walk into rooms not asking, will they like me? But declaring silently, here's how you're going to feel around me. History is full of figures who mastered this dark art. Think of infamous cult leaders who convinced hundreds to abandon families, careers, even their lives. They didn't do it with logic. They didn't do it with facts. They did it with presence. A perfectly calibrated emotional broadcast that bypassed reason and rewired devotion. Consider toxic partners who keep victims hooked despite constant betrayal. They know how to radiate intoxicating warmth one moment and icy distance the next. Your nervous system becomes addicted to the cycle. Euphoria when you're close, panic when they withdraw. It's the same wiring that makes drugs addictive. Only now the drug is a person. Even in boardrooms and politics, the same pattern appears. Certain executives or politicians can control a room with pauses more than others can with speeches. They use deliberate eye contact, a slower voice, rhythm, and carefully timed silence. Everyone unconsciously syncs to their emotional pace. It's not always ethical, but it's effective. Here's the principle. Manipulators understand. Control the emotional frequency, and you control perception. Control perception, and you control action. They don't waste energy convincing you with arguments. They tune you until you feel what they want you to feel. Your mirror neurons lock onto theirs, and without realizing it, you follow their emotional lead. That's why it feels irresistible. Your nervous system is being hijacked. Notice how subtle this is. They're not always the loudest in the room. Sometimes the quietest person holds the most sway, because their emotional field is the most stable. Humans crave stability, even if it's coming from someone dangerous. And here's the sinister part. Once you learn to see this, you'll notice it everywhere. The boss who makes you feel small without saying a cruel word. The charismatic speaker whose passion makes logic irrelevant. The friend who knows exactly how to make you doubt yourself and come running back. The world is full of emotional architects. Some use it ethically. Therapists, true leaders, healers. Others use it for power, control, and exploitation. You can deny this reality, but you can't escape it. Every day, you're either shaping the emotional weather or you're standing in someone else's storm. And now you know the mechanism, which means you face a choice. Remain an unconscious transmitter vulnerable to every manipulator who knows this code, or learn to wield it deliberately. Up to this point, you've seen that your nervous system is always transmitting. You can't stop the broadcast, but you can choose its quality. Most people never develop this ability. A few stumble into it by accident. The rarest deliberately master it. This journey happens in 3 levels. Each one gives you more influence and more responsibility. Level 1, surface mimicry, the beginner's trap. This is where almost everyone starts and where most get stuck. At this level, people try to perform what they think charisma looks like. They watch someone magnetic and assume it's about the visible behaviors, the smile, the tone, the gestures, so they copy the surface. Maybe you've seen this at a party. Someone tries too hard to be the life of the room. They force jokes. Their smile is a little too wide. Their laugh is half a second delayed, as if they're rehearsing what fun looks like rather than feeling it. Everyone senses something is off. Humans are ancient lie detectors. Our survival once depended on spotting deception in faces and tones. So when someone's words and energy don't match, it feels unnatural, even if you can't explain why. That's why a fake smile makes you uncomfortable. That's why a try-hard feels repellent. Surface mimicry always fails. You cannot trick mirror neurons. Your nervous system will always betray your real emotional state. When your body broadcasts insecurity, while your mouth shouts confidence, people pick up the truth. At this stage, people repel rather than attract, not because they lack value but because they haven't learned alignment. Level 2, authentic state alignment. The real shift. This is where the transformation begins. Instead of faking confidence, you learn to generate it. Instead of copying someone else's energy, you create your own. You stop acting. You start being. How? By shifting focus inward first. Before you step into the room, you regulate your state. You ask, what do I genuinely feel? What can I authentically offer here? When you align your inner and outer signals, something changes. Your tone steadies. Your face relaxes. You don't need to force smiles. They come naturally when you feel warmth. You don't need to rehearse charm. Curiosity and care make you magnetic without effort. At this level, people feel safer around you. They can sense your stability. They mirror your calm, your ease, your groundedness. This is not manipulation. It's resonance. You've tuned yourself, and others unconsciously sync with you. This is where real charisma begins, and it's where most ethical leaders stop. They learn to manage their state authentically, not for control but for connection. But there's a deeper level, a more dangerous level. Level 3. Emotional architecture, the master level. Here, emotions stop being random experiences and become tools. At this level, you realize your internal state can be designed on command and not just yours. You can design the emotional climate of others. This is where the most magnetic leaders, healers, and yes, manipulators play. They are no longer reacting to rooms. Rooms react to them. Picture a master speaker walking on stage. Before they say a word, the energy in the room shifts. Why? Because they've architected their state. They've built confidence, vision, and warmth inside themselves so strongly that everyone else sinks. Or think of a manipulator who makes someone feel euphoric one moment and desperate the next. They know exactly which emotional buttons to press. At this level, emotions become a language and they are fluent. Done ethically, this level can heal trauma, unite teams, inspire revolutions. Done unethically, it can create cults, obsession, and control. This stage, you wield immense power. You are no longer at the mercy of rooms. You set the weather. But with that power comes a haunting question. What will you build? Knowledge is useless unless you test it. You could watch 1,000 videos on swimming and still drown the moment you hit the water. The same is true here. To understand your emotional broadcast, you must experience it in motion. Tonight, pick one human interaction. Any situation will do. A conversation with a friend, a stranger at the store, a co-worker after work. No speeches, no rehearsed lines, no fake smiles, just one goal. Broadcast presence. Deliberately. Here's how. Step 1. Kill the inner static. Most people self-sabotage before they open their mouths. Their mind screams, do they like me? Am I coming across well? Look awkward. This inner commentary leaks as nervous energy. Your first task is silence. Not forever, just for a few moments. Take one slow breath. Let your body settle. Drop the self-s surveillance. Step 2. Shift the spotlight. Turn all your attention outward, not on their words or appearance, on their emotional weather. Ask yourself silently, what is this person feeling right now? Are they tense, excited, guarded, relaxed? Forget yourself. Immerse fully in their state. Step 3. Read the subtle signals. Don't just hear what they say. Notice what they show. The flicker of a half smile, the way their body leans toward or away, the tiny sigh between sentences, the drop in their tone when certain topics come up. Your mirror neurons are wired to detect this. If you're still enough to listen. Step 4. Drop the agenda. Do not try to impress them. Do not try to make them like you. Become fascinated with their inner world. Approach them like a mystery waiting to be decoded. People crave this kind of attention because it's so rare. They will feel it instantly, even if they don't know why. Something strange happens when you do this. Your insecurities dissolve. The inner chatter fades. Your nervous system stops broadcasting fear and begins transmitting focused presence. The other person feels seen, maybe for the first time all week. You don't need magic words. You don't need perfect timing. The signal itself does the work because real attention is magnetic. But don't stop there. Try variations of this experiment. At work, walk into a tense meeting and without saying anything, focus on radiating calm. Notice how voices shift. With strangers, in a busy line or cafe, pick one person and simply hold your awareness on them without judgment. See how their body unconsciously reacts. With friends or partners, give them 5 minutes of pure, undivided presence. No phone, no distractions, no waiting for your turn to talk. Watch how they light up. Do this and you'll learn something profound. You have far more influence than you think, even in silence. In an era of fractured attention, this is the rarest gift you can give. And rare gifts carry immense power. When someone feels truly seen, their brain floods with chemicals linked to love, safety, and euphoria. They won't remember your outfit or exact words, but they'll remember how you made them feel, and they'll crave more. That craving is where the dark temptation begins. And that's what we'll explore next. You've just learned how the invisible broadcast inside your mind shapes everything. But this is only the beginning. There's a deeper level. The hidden tactics manipulators use to control entire groups and the counter moves that make you untouchable. If this video reaches 50,000 views, I'll release part 2, the strategies no one talks about publicly. Comment below part 2 if you want me to drop it sooner. The more voices demanding it, the faster it comes.